Hello and welcome to the show. It is wonderful to be here today. I am Mary Grace. This is the Mary Grace Show, and I am the voice of sanity to help you navigate politics, culture, wellness, faith, and world events. And today, our show is titled The Real Work is Just Beginning. And I have with me on the show one of our quickly becoming favorite guests is Sheriff Richard Mack. Richard Mack is a constitutional sheriff and he runs the CSPOA, uh, Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. It's a mouthful. And he works with local sheriffs and citizens to help everyone fulfill their duty of defending and protecting the Constitution of the United States. This is a very exciting time in our country because we now have a president who is aligned with the exact same goals and ideals. And it's been a long time coming. Welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Well, Mary, it's great to be back with you. Thanks so much for having me. It's such a crucial time for America. Look, we got a little reprieve, but the door is open, and now we need to go through it and get to work. And I've said the same thing. It is time. There's never been a greater time for we the people and Americans to unite and get to work. Trump can't do it all. Your sheriff can't do it all. But we the people, the first three words of the Constitution, we can make this happen. And it's not going to happen if we move forward. We've been doing that for the last 78 years. It's time to look in the back, to look in our past, and go back to our Independence Hall and restore our Constitution as the supreme law of the land. We've got a lot of work to do, and thank God that President Trump is there, and that he'll have our back, and that we'll have his.
It's so good, yes. And just before we went live, we had some breaking news to me, which is that President Trump is putting troops on the southern border,
Yes.
including Marines, which is amazing because he's treating this like a national security threat. He's already designated the cartels as.
Now, did you see the amount?
No. Let's talk about it because all I saw was that that they were saying, don't be surprised if you see troops coming out of helicopters. I was like, yes, this is exciting. Yeah, tell us more. I'm excited.
I was hoping that I had the wrong zero because I saw 1,500. That's about enough for Arizona, but
okay.
For the rest of, I think they need 15,000. But
maybe that's just a start.
I hope so, but yeah, they need it. This needs to be really saturated with military, and it's totally appropriate. People say, "Oh no, that's against the law." The federal government shall protect our borders from invasion. That's Article 4, Section 4. That is their delegated, assigned duty and responsibility. So yes, they can, and yes, they should, and they should double down on it.
It's also the president's number one job is to protect to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. Sheriff, you have a little bit of buffering on your video. I don't know if you're on if there's something you can do to check your Wi-Fi or your internet and see, because we haven't had this problem before, and you're kind of pixelated. And
I'll tell you what, I can try to change to a different laptop. But that's the only thing I can do on this end. I am right next to I am in the room where my Wi-Fi is destroyed.
We have quite a delay. I don't know if anybody else is picking it up. Let's try that. I'll hold the floor.
You can stay on and talk to people, and I'll
hold the floor here for just a second. Let's just see if we can get a little bit. Or hold on, before you do that, do you have Skype or Zoom or Google Meet or anything like that open on your laptop? Have you recently been on a different video platform?
I was just on a Zoom before we got on this, but I got out of it.
Did you close Zoom completely?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoom
Well,
Zoom is sneaky.
I'm not very, I'm a very low tech guy, and I even told the high tech guy that I was interviewing with that that was the case. But
Yeah. Zoom is
uh,
sneaky.
oh,
They'll keep windows open on you, when you don't even know it. So, just double check and make sure that Zoom is completely quit because it will interfere with your feed.
I just double checked,
Okay.
and I actually saw a Zoom thing there. What it didn't seem to be on, but there was a Zoom there, and I X'd out of
Okay.
it. Did that do anything?
It seems a little better. Yeah, let's see. Sometimes if you're animated, which I know you are, it'll mess with the video feed. So if you're doing a lot of like jazz hands and things,
I might do Trump. I might do Trump's dance.
okay, let's perfect. Okay. So okay, let's get back to business. Let's talk about the military on the border. Um this is okay, it's not illegal even though the leftists and the fake news media are going to tell you it is. Another thing I want to talk about because this comes up a lot and Tom Homan has been asked this question, what about separating families?
Well, he actually, I think he copied me on his answer that he started
Okay.
using over a year ago, because he's former law enforcement and I'm former law enforcement. We said the exact same
Okay,
thing
what is that?
because every time you arrest an adult that has children with them, they get separated.
Yes.
Okay, it comes with the territory. So the most common one is a parent, mother, father, sometimes both, will be stopped for drunk driving, DUI. They have two or three kids with them, and uh, we try to find relatives, usually grandparents, but and there's nobody else. They're separated. Okay, that's all there is to it. And say,
And that's American citizens.
of course,
Mhm.
yeah, of course. And that's just you do not take the children with the parent to be booked into jail or to post bail. The children will not be there. Okay, and it's one of the things I hated most about the job. But the kids are crying and don't want to go to foster home. Well, I don't want to take them there either. But
Yeah.
that's all there is to it. Most of the time, they get a relative to come pick them up. They are still separated. Okay, so
Yeah.
last resort, they go to a foster care family. So
Mhm.
that's just the way it is, and it happens in this type
Yeah.
of a crime. You bring your kids, and you're trying to use the kids as shills or whatever else. I don't care, but you get arrested, and you're part of the cartel or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to be treated like anyone else who breaks the law. So uh, That's that's life in the the crime world.
Yeah.
And so Tom has said that. I have said it.
Mhm.
This is nothing new. It's not just for illegal aliens who come here illegally.
Mhm.
It's for everyone. Americans, regular citizens, hoping to be citizens, not American citizens. You're going to be separated.
Yeah. Yeah, because, choice actions have consequences, and when you break the
Yeah,
law, there are consequences that affect you and your family
yeah.
and the bystanders that are with you. I noticed that you're using the term illegal alien, which is a legal term.
Yeah.
Um, the media and even a lot of people on the conservative media have been using the word migrant. What are your thoughts about that? Why do you think they switched from illegal alien to the word migrant?
I don't know. I guess it sounds softer or sounds nicer. I don't know. I don't care what they do. And I don't even care if they say illegal immigrant or migrant. I don't care if they say it. But I grew up here in Arizona, and they were always illegal aliens, and so
Mhm.
that's what I still use. I spent 20 years in law enforcement. I never once heard anybody say illegal immigrant. It was always illegal alien.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, if that offends you, I really don't care. Oh, and by the way, the
Yeah.
Constitution doesn't protect you from being offended. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
that's life in the fast lane.
Nice, nice. So let's talk about some of the nuts and bolts.
Okay.
We talked about the military. So far, the number that you're seeing is 1,500. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask about is the border patrol, because I know that some of those were deployed or were pulled away from the border to do other tasks that had nothing to do with border enforcement. Do you know the status of those people now? Are they being brought back in to do their jobs along the border? Have you heard
Uh,
anything about that?
that's the word on the streets, but I haven't verified it yet. But I'm pretty sure that that's what is happening.
Okay.
Uh, because even all of them said, finally, we get back to doing our jobs
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
which we were hired. So, yeah, that's pretty much the common knowledge now
Mhm.
that that
Mhm.
is happening. It's
That
not going to be overnight, but
right.
it shouldn't take very long,
Right.
and and then we can have other people doing the paperwork and the vetting and whatnot. But my suggestion has been for the last year that if Trump gets in and we can start going after uh, the gangs and the terrorists and the criminals that have infiltrated our country. Um, and no, I'm not talking about asylum seekers. I'm talking about the gangs, Tren de Agua,
Mhm.
the gangs from Venezuela, the gangs from the Sinaloa cartels, and the CCP warriors, the Russian warriors, Hamas, ISIS, Al Qaeda, all the jihadists, uh, all of them that have infiltrated our country. I'm talking about all of them. And they are illegal aliens. They provide a very pronounced and uh, deep running threat to everyone in America. And they need to get out, they need to go back.
Mhm. Mhm.
I have said stop all immigration, legal and illegal,
Yeah.
until we get a handle on all of this. And then maybe in a 6 months or to a year, we can start handling legal immigration again. But for now,
Mhm.
nobody comes in until we get this taken care of.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea at all, and I think that, I don't know, I feel like most people that I'm in touch with would agree. Um,
Yeah.
so but let's talk about, like, kinda like the process, because I have a feeling that everyone listening, almost everyone listening is aware of somebody, or somebodies that are in their neighborhood or community
Hmm.
that are here illegally. And it seems to, I mean, it's grown like exponentially. So
Yeah.
as a private citizen, somebody like me, I was describing a scenario to you before the show, a place that I go for recreation that seems to have been overrun by a certain demographic. And the impression that I get, I mean, I'm not going around checking papers, but what I've the impression that I've gotten over the last 4 years is a really strong sense of entitlement and a kind of a bully mentality, because they know that that people are afraid to confront them, or and I'm talking about, actually, for example, in the place that I go, it's a national park, and the park staff are so woke or so afraid of being sued
Yeah.
or offending somebody that they won't actually even enforce rules. Do
Yeah.
you see things like that changing under Trump? Like, do you think that people are going to be more emboldened to do their jobs, to even to call ICE in and say, "Hey, there's a bunch of people coming, every day or every weekend. and we think you might ought to take a look at this. Is that something that you think is going to start happening? I mean, we don't want to profile, but at the same time, we kind of have to. How it's awkward, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I was sheriff, we had a van of about 20 people, loaded with 20 people, very cramped into a 12 passenger van, and ARFA stopped them. It's obvious what that is. Okay,
Mhm.
it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know what that is.
Mhm.
So it's they call that in the legal world prima facie evidence. It's
Okay.
obvious. It's obvious what
Okay.
it is, and so we ask, you know, for identification.
Mhm.
Uh, is that illegal for an officer to ask for that? It's on a legitimate traffic stop.
Mhm.
Can I ask for identification? Yes, I
Mhm.
can. And
Mhm.
obviously they don't have it. But what's really been part of the problem is several states, I'd say about 20, maybe a little over, have so intentionally and wittingly provided illegal aliens with driver's licenses. Well, why?
Mm.
Because that helps them get registered to vote. Well,
Right.
what does that help? It helps the Democrats bring these people in by the millions so that they can increase their voter rolls. That's why. And that's why a lot of this has been happening. And
Mm.
that's why the Democrats keep pushing for it. And the national media keeps pushing for it, even
Mm.
now. And so I really feel that it's going to take the people to be involved with this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's going to be, look, I know you report this to your sheriff or report this to ICE. I know for a fact that this business over here has dozens and dozens of illegal aliens. Then you
Mhm.
report that
Mhm.
and let's go see and let's take care of them.
And then
Look,
let them
I
take
hope
care
they're
of it.
careful. I don't want American citizens to be deported. None of us do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it's got to be that we're working, that people are helping with this. We the people have got to be involved in this process.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm. Yeah. And one thing Trump has said is he wants to target the criminals, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, people that have a record. One thing we've seen is that a lot of the hardened criminals and the gang members will throw away their ID on the Mexico side or the Panama side.
Yeah.
And then when they come in and they do a fake asylum claim, um, then they get given a notice to appear, they can make up a name. I mean, it seems like it's fraught with difficulties. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like
It
to
is.
be an immigration officer trying to decipher this, right? I mean, like,
Mhm.
hello, Jorge, you know,
But
uh,
this is the problem they have created.
yeah.
And most of that problem is created by our own government. The Biden
Mhm.
administration created this problem, and then they go, "Oh, but you can't do anything about it because you can't ask anybody for ID."
Right,
Oh,
right, right.
so
Well, there
if
yeah.
it's part of the subterfuge and part of the crime, then I can recognize that and I can
Mhm.
do what I have to counter that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
In my state too, they are registering people to vote when they register for social services for,
or when they get their driver's license.
yeah, food stamps,
Yeah,
welfare, they automatically can check the box to register to
yeah,
vote, and if they don't register at that time, they get a letter in the mail telling them that they can register to vote.
yeah,
So it's a big push, and Virginia is we have a Republican governor, but now, we still have a very strongly left leaning, Senate. So we're working on that. But,
mm,
but it's, it's a real conundrum, right? Because we don't wanna be that person that looks at every single person that doesn't look like us as a
right,
suspect, right? We have to be very careful about that. But,
yeah,
um, but let's talk a little bit about the deputization and becoming a posse, becoming a part of a posse, things like that. You explain it so well. This is something that you guys do in your organization is you train local sheriffs to bring citizens, private citizens, into the fold as a
Right.
deputy. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Well, I don't know if it's a deputy so much, but it is a member of the posse, and posse members are sworn in. And every sheriff should have a posse. And there's not a real big difference between a deputy and a posse member, but there's a little one because a deputy is a full-time officer who went through the police academy. And can a sheriff still deputize everybody and anybody he wants in his county?
Mhm.
Yes, he
Okay.
can. He has that authority. Um, some states actually have a statute that explains what that authority is. In Arizona, yes, it exists in state AR Arizona revised statute.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
hope that all of them do, but it is nevertheless a piece of American history that sheriffs have posses. And he doesn't have to ask permission from anybody to have a posse.
Okay.
He could notify the county and the county commissioners, look, I am starting a posse. It is lawful, it is proper, and they'll say, sometimes they will say, well, what about the liability? What about the insurance? You know what? That's the county's problem. They're going to have to provide that. Okay. Every sheriff right now in this country, I would say 90% of the sheriffs, so 2,500, 2,800 sheriffs in this country already have posses. Oh no. It's called
That's
a
the yeah.
It's called a search and rescue squad. They're
Okay.
volunteers and they're very well trained. And you can do the same with your posse. Train them in firearms, train them in patrolling and riding with the deputy and knowing what to do. Okay, fine. Reduce the liability with training, just like we do any other police officer in this country. Training reduces liability.
Mm.
Do it. Okay? Because the benefit from a posse, a Minuteman group of people called a posse, can be immediately available to the sheriff to use for any reason. And yes, now that we have this national emergency of getting rid of this criminal element that has infiltrated our country for the last 4 years, and it's been going much, much longer than that, but to this extent, that the Biden administration has wittingly, and not only that, flown people in. This administration has flown tens of thousands of illegal aliens into our country from Venezuela, yes, from all through Latin America and other countries and Middle East as well. Why do we aid and abet our enemies so much? And isn't that the definition of treason? It
Yeah.
most certainly is. And folks, that's why we have all got to be involved in the solution. We've got to help. Trump has got to have our back. We have to have his back. He has ours.
Yeah.
So we need to return the favor. That needs to be reciprocated. So call your sheriff, work with your sheriff. And on our website, there's a 30-page document that you can download that helps you form a posse in your county. If the sheriff doesn't have one, he should see this. It's from Sheriff Bob Songer in Clickitat County, Washington. And it's a great template. It's a great uh, educational training tool. Okay. So if he wants to do it on his own, he doesn't have to do it through us. Fine. Do it however you want.
Mhm.
But folks, you need to be calling your sheriff and telling him, do you have a posse? I want to help. I want to be on it. You don't
Okay.
have a posse? I want to help organize it. I can bring you by the document that CSPOA has put out from Sheriff Songer in Washington State. Or tell him to do it on his own. We're only here to help. But
Mhm.
folks, you are a vital part of that. You are essential to that. Okay. So Join us. We will train you how to work with your sheriff, and you're part of our posse. And then you're going to be a leader in creating a posse in your county. Folks, there it is. There's our website. And this is part of the process of taking back our country. We, the people, have got to be involved. There, join our posse. It's a whopping $11 a month. You keep us going, we keep you going. It's a relationship that blesses each other and blesses our country and blesses your sheriff and blesses your community. Folks, this is something that's been happening in America for 200 years. Posses are nothing new, but now we need them more than ever. And so, do you think that you could help go with a female officer to make sure that a female inmate is frisked properly? I think you could handle that. Can you go on a transport to court with another jailer or a corrections officer? Why couldn't you? And of course, you're going to have some training. Could you ride along with a deputy because now you're certified in firearms in case he needs help? There's a backup unit inside his car, and that's the safest way to go. And if there's a national, what if there's a natural disaster? And help with that? All of us can, and all of us should, and that's what this is about.
We've seen
And I got to say I got to say what you said earlier. The need involved and get to work. And anybody who's looking at what the situation is right now, we got to have Trump's back. We've got to get to work. And this deportation thing is not going to President Trump.
exactly. We're going to take a quick break. I think this is a good time. You're buffering a little bit, so we'll give you a chance to catch up, and we'll come back. I
Okay.
wanted to. So for those of you who are just coming in, we have with us Sheriff Richard Mack, and we're talking primarily about what to expect with Trump's promises of deportation, and then also let me just take him off screen for just a second. We'll see if we can get a better feed. I Okay, you're still there. You're just not on screen. But we want to support the work that President Trump is doing, and we're going to talk more about that after the break here. For those of you who are just getting here, you didn't get the notification, please make sure you go over to my email list at marygracemedia.com. We want you to get the emails to make sure that you get notified. It's right here, marygracemedia.com. You can go there, and that's the easiest way to do it. Now, some of you may have gotten multiple emails today because there was a weird glitch with my email program. I apologize. I didn't mean to spam you. But normally it works pretty well. And we send out an email before we do these types of interviews. And it's an easy way to make sure you don't miss anything. Somebody in the Facebook just said they didn't get the notification and they couldn't find my page. One thing I will tell you is you can always go to marygracemedia.com and you can find the page that you want to watch on. You can find the Facebook, the Rumble, the X, and you can click directly on that link on my website to get to the platform you want to watch on. Now, one thing I want to direct you to today is that we have our favorite freeze-dried beef on a promotion for this month only. Our friends over there at griddownchowdown.com are giving you a freebie when you sign up for their 24 serving subscription. That's a monthly or bi-monthly, however you want to do it. When you sign up for that, you're going to get a free 4 serving bonus for no extra charge. And that's a great deal. This is American grown beef. You're protecting American farmland. Whenever you buy this, this is a pound of ground beef. Super simple to use. And Sheriff Mack actually ordered it. So we're going to get his review on it when he comes back. Let's run our commercials. Let's see what we have offered to you. Please patronize our supporting partners here. so that we can keep the show, Mary Grace Media, going and bring you more content like this. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Jordan, and this is my brother.
And I'm Nace, and we're at the Grid Down Chowdown, and this is Larry, who is a local rancher that we've partnered with.
Now, Larry, you've been ranching for over 4 generations, is that correct?
That's correct. I'm 3rd generation, my son's 4th generation, and I've got some grandkids that are 5th generation.
Man, that's awesome.
We've been here for quite a while, yeah.
All right, now, Larry, your cattle is grass-fed, grass-finished, and pasture-raised, just like God intended them to be.
Yes, because I want to know what's in that animal,
Right.
What it's been fed. And so the only way to do that is for us to keep it all natural, just like God has done it for years and years and years, thousands of years. How has partnering up with us helped you and your ranch? Well, it's allowed us to develop a market that we didn't have before, one that can get directly to the consumer, and that's great.
And just remember, more importantly, with every package that you buy, we put a salvation track in there. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for allowing us to do what we believe that God has us here to do. And just remember, God loves you. He really does.
Amen.
Go to griddownchowdown.com. Americans spend more now than ever on healthcare, and we're sicker than almost anybody in the world. We put our trust in a system that's completely let us down. Dr. Troy Sproul and the team at Synapse Center for Health and Healing have changed all that. They are a functional medicine clinic, and they get to the root cause of what's made you sick in the first place. Once they do that, they give you solutions to help you get out of that. This is the way that medicine was meant to be practiced, and this is what they're doing. They're changing the entire system from the inside out, one person at a time, and you could be one of those people. And so when you're working with the team at Synapse, they're giving you solutions and not just prescriptions. That's a game changer for me. When you set up a free discovery call with Synapse, you're starting on a journey of healing. You're starting on a journey of getting answers. And that's why I've partnered with them, because I want you to be healthy. I want your family to be healthy. I want you to have all of the resources that you need to steward the body and the health that God's given you. Go to officialsynapse.com and tell them Mary Grace sent you. That's Official Synapse, SYNAPSE.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through. My employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by extending our wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows only $14.98. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including my standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.98, Kings only $1 more. Not only that, order $75 or more, ship absolutely free. From all of us here at MyPillow,
And we're back. We have with us Sheriff Richard Mack. Hey, did you get your beef?
A bunch
Okay.
of it.
Have you opened it, or are you saving it for the apocalypse?
We
Okay.
did one. We opened one.
What was your impression?
And it's
Yeah.
great. And I've been in the food storage business for a long time, since before Y2K, so for about 25
Okay.
years. Not that I run my
Right.
own, but I work with companies and I've
Yeah.
endorsed companies. And I used to work for a company. I was a consultant for a company, and I did that for about
Okay.
2 years, right around the turn of the century. I've always been just begging and just searching the world over for good tasting food that's got the shelf life
Yeah.
of this one. MREs can't
Yeah.
stand them, but this stuff is good. This stuff
This
is
is
good.
real.
It tastes good, and it's easy to cook, easy to prepare, and it's good
Yeah,
tasting.
it's
Yeah, that's my favorite
one
part.
ingredient, beef. It's beef. And
Yeah,
so what did you
beef.
make? Did you make burgers or, meatballs or spaghetti?
No, I do a little ground beef thing with I kind of call it my Mexican
Okay,
goulash.
okay.
So I do ground beef and then I throw in
Mhm.
some beans. Oh, but you ground the beef with onions, fresh
Okay,
onions,
okay.
sliced onions, chopped onions, and then quite a bit of green chili, diced green chili. You can get at the
Yep.
store, uh, and and then put in some cheese and some
Mm,
beans, and then you can put that on a tortilla,
yep.
and you've got your own little
And
homemade
you did
burro.
that all with this. And so the thing is, guys, this is freeze-dried beef. So you added water and you had the equivalent of if you opened a package of ground beef from the store, but this is way higher
Correct.
quality. And so it's
Yes.
not jerky. It's beef that you can cook a meal with. All you need is fresh is water, clean fresh water. So that's very exciting. And again, this is our sponsor for the month. So if you're thinking about buying it, you're going to do the 24 serving subscription, and then they're going to give you 4 servings free when you do that. Make sure you use the promo code Mary Grace. That's really critical because they're not doing this for just everybody. They're doing it for the Mary Grace Show listeners. That's why you need to tell them that Mary Grace sent you. That's really important. Did you get your My Pillow mattress toppers? We talked about that too.
No, my wife was wondering today. She was calling about
Oh,
that,
okay.
trying to see where it was,
Hmm.
but no. But I am wearing my socks again
Oh,
today.
okay, this is exciting, everybody. Last time
My pillow socks.
last time Sheriff Richard Mack was on the show, he actually showed us his My Pillow socks. He took his socks off. That was a first. First on the Mary Grace
Yeah,
show and a first for Sheriff Mack. We won't do that today, but we'll just tell everybody everybody can take your word for it. It's a great product. Yeah.
it's a socks I've had in as long as I can
So
remember.
good, so good.
Yeah.
Does it doesn't have the seam, right, on the toes? Like, some people, that really bothers them, right? And
I don't think yeah, I don't think it does, but,
yeah, yeah, that's a big thing.
I know that my toes are very comfortable, and that usually bugs me when socks
Okay,
are so I hate socks that feel like they're choking your feet,
right.
and especially that I'm older. You gotta have comfortable socks,
There you
and,
go, guys.
and I do.
Yep. So you got griddownchowdown.com, promo code Mary
Mhm.
Grace. You've got mypillow.com, promo code Mary Grace. Super simple. That's all you have to do. And if you decide that you want to get healthy on top of all this and you go to official Synapse, what's the promo code? Mary Grace. So it's really easy. Now, let's get back to the business of saving the country. Sheriff Richard Mack is with us, CSPOA, Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. And this is exciting.
CSPOA.org.
.org, yes. And this is good because he's teaching you, the private citizen, how to reach out to your sheriff, to talk to them, to ask them how, how they're doing this, what your county is doing to handle the orders from President Trump. Those are really important questions to ask. And when you go to his website, I'm going to pull it up again. Let's tell everybody where to go, so that they can join and take part in some of the training that you're doing. Right here.
Yeah.
Here's the website.
Well, we do the training every like today, it was today,
Okay.
we our webinar, and you're all allowed to ask questions, and we give you a review of some sheriffs that we've been working with. And yesterday I did an interview with 2 sheriffs, nationally renowned, Sheriff Wayne Ivey from Florida and Sheriff Mark Lamb right here from Arizona. And I've worked closely with both of these men the last 10 years. And Sheriff Ivey reminded me that he came to our first national conference, CSPOA National Conference, January of 2012. So that's how long we've been doing this, folks. And Sheriff Ivey
Amazing.
encourages, and Sheriff Mark Lamb does, encourages every one of you to join our posse and be ready for your local posse with your local sheriff. Now we're doing a fundraiser, so scroll down Where's the wallet? Where's my wallet?
Oh, let me see. Oh, I think hold on. I saw that. It's not on. Oh, donate. Donate. Here we go.
Uh, and where's my wallet? Contribute. There should be a picture of a wallet. And
Okay, I'll find it. All
I
right,
thought it was on the front page.
you keep talking. Oh, there's a lot more over here.
But
Let
but
me
it's supposed to be on the there it is.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is. Folks, this is kind of expensive, but it's really authentic. It's a pure leather trifold wallet, just like detectives on television and movies use. It is a class #1 top rated badge made out of pure bronze. And just like every deputy or sheriff or detective use. And it's the Spirit of 76. It's $760. We pay all the shipping, but you'll have your authentic CSPOA badge and membership with you everywhere you go. Should you keep your driver's license right there next to it? Absolutely. When the patrol officer asks you where you're going, or he sees your badge and he goes, "Oh, who do you work for? Who do you work with?" And you said, "I work with the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association." You tell him the truth, and then you let nature take its course. Folks, this is a great memento. It is a great identification, and it is a great badge of who you work with and what you're trying to do for America. That's why the Spirit of 76 is what you get when you do a donation to us and you're helping us with our fundraiser, and you get something wow in return. This is a great badge. You'll love it. You'll probably want to buy one for your uh, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, all your kids.
Look at
But
that.
look,
There it is.
this is amazing. And it's very authentic. It's the same as everybody else in law enforcement. So please get that. You're helping us a great deal. More importantly, though, be part of our posse and be ready to move when called upon by your sheriff. So,
That is very exciting. I don't know
yeah,
if you guys can tell from the photo, but the badge is embedded in the leather of this
into
wallet.
the wallet.
It's
Yes.
yeah, it's you go to the website and look at how nice this is. It's not a trinket. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So I was trying to zoom in on it, and it's not really letting me do that. But uh,
Uh,
that everybody can just go to the website and take a look at it. Pretty exciting. Let me take this off here. Um, uh, there we go. We're back. Um, sometimes sometimes my producer doesn't quite know what she's doing. That's right here. Um, and so we do the best. We give her a lot of leeway,
of course.
because yeah, because she's wearing a lot of hats.
She's a good lady, and we like her, and we'll be patient with her.
I wanna read some comments. Do you have a couple minutes where we can
Sure.
maybe read some comments and just
Sure.
give a shout out to our audience? I wanna give a shout out to my Rumble audience. We've got a lot of activity over on Rumble today, and I
Mhm.
wanna encourage more and more people to go there, especially if you are used to watching on YouTube, because honestly, sometimes we don't know how they got issues, and you may not find me there all the time. But let me read what Texas Tanya said. This is very interesting. There were police everywhere in my small town along 35 West today. I feel like they're on high alert. Major freeway running north and south. Okay, that's encouraging. Taffy says, I work for a community college and I don't think they are properly vetting students. Um, what is something that she could do in a case like that, if she has suspicions that this is happening? We know these colleges get a lot of federal money,
Mhm.
and so they're gonna take whoever they can, uh, especially if they're getting, student aid, um, financial aid, because it's subsidized. So, what would somebody like that do in a situation like that?
Well, we touched earlier, but
Yeah.
let's just first of all, if you're just suspicious, then you need to probably get something a little bit that you
Okay.
know before you report it. So do a little homework. Maybe ask another student. Maybe ask one of your Hispanic student friends, um, and then report it. But if you're just, oh, they have lots of Hispanics there, that's probably not
Hmm.
enough real cause. So do a little checking on your own. Uh, how do they get them? How do they get them there? How you could ask another student, you a Hispanic student, hey, what do they ask you came in here? Did they check on your identification? Do they frisk you? Whatever? No, obviously we don't want that.
Yeah.
But just most of them will be open about it. And
Hmm.
so do whatever you have to do a little checking, do a little homework, and then if that's pretty obvious that they are not doing it, call the local police, call
Hmm.
the local sheriff, and report it.
Interesting.
And do you have to give your name? You can remain anonymous on that.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And yeah. I wanted to get your take on something that happened yesterday with President Trump went to the inaugural church service at the National Cathedral. And did you see the bishop um lecturing him on his
Yes, I did.
okay. For those of you who aren't
I have
aware, can
never
you
been so
explain what
embarrassed
happened?
for somebody.
Yeah,
She
explain.
was supposed to be giving a prayer,
Mhm.
and instead she lectured the LGBTQ and all that. You know, when we grew up, we did call people with same-sex tendencies or actions, we did call them
Mhm.
queer. And then we were told by group or others or teachers sometimes or parents, don't call them that. They don't like to
Mhm.
be called that. Now they're, so it's LGBTQ, Q for queer. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know
Mhm.
why they always have to shove it down everybody's throat. Look, I don't care who you live with. I don't care. Just don't make me have to be a part of that and that you have to come to my,
Mhm.
my grandkids' school and teach them this
Right, right.
style. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a right to not want. And if you would be fair and desires, we're all going to get along better,
Mhm.
and no problem. But what this lady did yesterday, she was supposed to be giving a prayer, and instead she used it as criticize
Mhm.
President Trump,
Well, and
and
she launched into
this was
yeah,
really rude. It was
and
really
she
super
talked
rude.
about the illegals, right? That,
Yeah.
these people are washing dishes. I mean, to me, it was very elitist, right? That
Mhm. It was demeaning to me. It was demeaning to the
yeah, yeah,
immigrants too.
that she
Some of them do other stuff besides
right,
wash
exactly.
dishes and work.
Yeah, and pick your crops. I
You
mean,
know,
it was somebody did a parody of it on X, and it was basically a parody of, the Democrats during this, pre-Civil War making the argument that we need to keep, these people um working on our land to pick our crops. Like if
yeah,
they don't do it, who's going to do it? It's
right,
that kind of idea, that elitist, very racist idea,
yeah.
and she was lecturing President Trump on that. I mean, it was crazy, and for her to be
It
a
was,
leader of a
yeah,
church, I
it
mean,
was. Uh, Not to mention what the Bible says about a woman being in that position, but
yeah,
I don't care about that
yeah,
either. I don't care. I've been very close with some male pastors. It's fine with me. I don't care. We don't always have to agree, even on doctrinal issues.
mhm,
theology issues.
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay. All can be friends and all of us can still disagree. Us need to be on one side, and that is America first.
Exactly, exactly. And it was, I mean, it was in such poor taste. And then President
It was.
Trump um posted about it. Did you see his post? I mean,
Uh,
he was up. It was late at night.
I
And
didn't.
yeah, I'll read you what he said because it's definitely worth revisiting. And for those of you who didn't see it, it was at the National Cathedral. This is what he said. He posted this at after midnight. He said the so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was very boring and uninspiring one. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. And then he signed it with a small t, which is, there's always meaning behind what he does. But yeah, she it was very boring and uninspiring. And I mean, I'm glad he's calling these people out because for her to use that
Yeah.
platform and to use that, imagine having been given the opportunity to have the president come to a service at your church.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And what if she would have us together
right.
instead of alienating the
Yeah,
president?
yeah, and the body language of all the family. I mean, Melania was sitting next to him, um, Don Jr. was the 3rd row back. He was, to me, his body language was amazing. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
could tell he was just going, "Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. Keep me from saying," like, he's like, Please, please, please let her stop before I say something I'm gonna regret." It was just, I mean, you could tell. And Eric was like, so everybody go watch it. I don't have the video right now. I can't pull it up, but it's comedy. I mean, everyone's just going, what just happened? What is happening right now? So again, the point is, she was trying to lecture him about immigration, which is really the topic of today's show. So I wanted to read one more comment and then we'll sign off here. Mike on Facebook says, "My dad has been a member of the Michigan Sheriff's Association Department for decades. He and I have also been lifetime associate members of the National Fraternal Order of Police, Michigan State Lodge, 30 plus years." So, Mike, you're like a prime candidate to be a posse member.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah. So check out the link, cspoa.org and
And just so you know, Mike, I would love to come and teach my class to any FOP unit anywhere, nationally, statewide, locally, because I really feel that the law enforcement officers in our country don't get the oath of office and don't get our role in preserving our Constitution. I believe those are the boots on the ground for America. So I would love to do that. So if you can arrange that, tell Mary to get a hold of me. You can have my number, whatever. I would
Okay,
love
yeah,
to do
Mike,
that.
if that's something that you and your group would be interested in, and reach out to me, info@marygracemedia.com. And anyone who's listening, that offer is open if you are a part of an organization, if you're a sheriff, if you're fraternal order police,
Or,
a sheriff's
I don't care.
association,
You can be just the public. I'll come and do it.
or just the public. Also military, our
Yes.
veterans
Yeah.
fit very well with this type of service. And
Amen.
especially if you're older and you're kind of wondering what's my next role in life. uh
Yeah.
God has a place for you, and a very important one. And don't think that just because you're retired or you're phasing out, or going part-time or anything like that, God has a lot for you to do. So it's not, President Trump's not retired, so you're not retiring either. You got you got you got work to do. That guy's 78, barely sleeps, signed, hundreds of executive orders in the first hours of his job. Somebody made a playlist of the sound of the pen of him signing the executive orders. It's an hour it's an hour long, and it's instead of
That's
playing white noise to go to sleep, you can have President Trump signing executive orders as your nighttime lullaby.
that's
I know,
wonderful.
I know. Listen, Sheriff Mack, we're coming up on time here. Want to give you an opportunity to get the last word in and tell people again how to follow you and how to take part in the work that you're doing at cspoa.org.
Yeah, well, yeah, folks, I actually started the constitutional sheriff movement and it was born out of my lawsuit against the federal government that we won. The only time in history that ever happened. I want you to be a part of that. I want you to know and understand what all of that was about. Uh, to be part of us and be part of what we're doing, you don't have to be a cop. You don't have to be a sheriff. You just have to be what? We the people. The first three words of our Constitution. You're the most important part about this. We have to be involved in the process. Be complacent right now. Just got to get involved. We've got to work. We're helping you with this with a silver platter. Join us in this holy cause of liberty, cspoa.org. Become part of the solution. And remember, that's for God, family, and country. And if we do that, we can still take our country back, county by county, state by state. And with President Trump on board now, heavens, anything's possible. And we have a 2-year window to make sure that happens. Hopefully it'll be 4, but for sure we have a 2-year window. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Let's come together and let's be America once again.
Amen. Good place to land it. And thank you again for being here. Thank you for coming on such short notice. You're welcome back anytime. And we're so grateful for you and the work you're doing. To everyone who's listening, if you're coming in on the replay, please leave a comment for us. Let us know how you plan to get involved in your area. And is your sheriff a constitutional sheriff, or does he still need work? Thank you. And also, everybody, please remember to get on my mailing list. Get on the mailing list so that you won't miss our shows. We do have a great show coming up on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. This is a much requested guest. Most of you love him and you ask for him a lot. So we will be talking on an extended conversation on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm also working on getting some other good high profile guests, some of our other people that you really like. We have to be careful about announcing them because there are people who have a lot of hate for the Mary Grace show, and somehow they manage to sort of sabotage things. And we don't want that to happen. So please bookmark it, mark your calendars for Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, but turn on your notifications, get on the email list in case we have other guests coming on between now and then. We will see you back here soon, marygracemedia.com and The Mary Grace Show. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. And that was Sheriff Richard Mack, cspoa.org, and reach out to him, take part in what they're doing over there with the Constitutional